Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with daily technical update, the educational video where there is no recommendation or advice intended whatsoever. This is for educational purposes, how you can apply technical analysis to your trading using live examples. It is Tuesday the 11th of February, and today we'll start with Nvidia that has been bouncing strong. We looked at it last week where we saw it bounce from the 113.25, found solid ground there from this support going back all the way back to September last year. And now it's back above the 129.50 again, quite interesting. And if it can continue here the next couple of days and get back above 140 and RSI can get back above 60 threshold, well, and there could be a further upside potential, maybe even canceling these top and reversal patterns there. So that would be quite interesting. If we start sliding back below 129.50, then bears could get renewed energy and selling it lower. 19th February, they are expected to release earnings. Just very quickly, let's have a look at the semiconductor index slash ETF here, the SOX index or semiconductor ETF. Strong support, we talked about it many times, around 210. Still below the cloud. If it can get back above 225 and RSI can get back above 60 threshold, then we are back in positive territory. Well, we have been in positive sentiment, but it's just been depressed in the sideways range there. On the indices themselves, we have S&P 500. Sorry, let's just adjust that a little bit. 5,900 key supports, still above that. We are still in a bullish trend. Well, we are actually in a correction phase, but positive sentiment on the RSI. If it starts moving back above and it closes back above 60 threshold, expect a new all-time high in S&P 500, and maybe a good result from Nvidia can lift this, despite the fact that some of the tech stocks, they are actually a little bit under pressure at the moment, like Google and Apple. But if it can take out the spike up there from Friday at 6,101, well, then we could continue higher towards new all-time highs. Nasdaq 100, very good day yesterday. Still, it needs to take us out Friday, peaked there at 21,870. Well, then I think we'll see a push towards new highs. Also, still positive sentiment on the RSI, indicating likely higher levels. We have Dow Jones still a little bit depressed, I would say. Still positive sentiment though. But this bearish candle here, where we had the sellers take control throughout the session from the get-go and throughout the session, that needs to be taken out for really a push higher. So that's really something to watch out for. That peak of the candle there, 45,055. If it takes out that, then it has been demolished. The top and reversal pattern there. EuroStoxx50 pushed higher yesterday, had a new all-time high, but it is quite stressed. You can see RSI is it is in a positive sentiment, but declining values, indicating we are in exhaustion mode. So don't be surprised if suddenly we will get a new a correction. But for now, trust the trend, and we can see here market just opened, and we are flirting with the peaks here, so but be cautious, I would say here short term. DAX index opening almost unchanged, also a little bit stressed. You can see RSI indicating trend exhaustion, so we could see a little bit of a setback. If we move back below 21,252, then we could see a larger correction, so keep an eye on that support level. Euro dollar still above 102.70, minor support. If it takes out that, well, then we are back in bearish trend. And if RSI moves back below 40 threshold, you can see it flirting with it at the moment. Well, then we are also confirming the bearish sentiment, and thereby the bearish trend with a push lower. Above 104.5, then it could establish a bullish trend with higher high, higher low, and higher high. So keep an eye on this range there. Sterling dollar currently below the minor support at 123.60, and could assume a bearish trend. If RSI moves back below 40 threshold, it has confirmed, and we'll see cable pushing lower towards 122, 121. Euro sterling, well, it's a little bit up in the air, but seems to be bouncing fairly strongly after spiking below the cloud, and we are currently back above, and I think we'll see a push up to around 84 level here, and maybe the 200 moving average, maybe even up to 84.30, which is the 786 retracement. So it is in the cards. Whether it will materialize or not, we'll know a little bit more next few days. Then we have dollar yen pairs here. Dollar yen reached the 786 retracement and seems to bouncing a little bit. Could bounce up to around the 153 and 90, 154 maybe even. But we are in a bearish trend. Negative sentiment on the RSI. If it takes out the lows here at 150.80, then expect a push down to around 148.60 level. The euro yen has bounced from the support here at 156, but not really much, not really convinced. Can it really bounce? I mean, spike lower. We had this Dodi-like pattern there, our candle. 38.2 retracement, 158.83 should be possible to bounce to that level, but let's see. It could be. It is a little bit up in there, but if it takes out the lows here at 155.59, then expect lower levels on euro yen. On the Aussie yen, well, also in a bouncing mode, we have the 38.2 retracement, 95, well, just around 96. I think will be reached maybe all the way up to 61.8 at 97. The sterling yen, well, it is just above the minor support here at 186.75 area. It is from that little spike up there, so it's not that strong at all. It's just a minor one. I could bounce it, but if it takes it out, then expect a further selling down to 185, maybe below. We are down already in this area here where the market turned around sometime back in September. Aussie dollar, well, still flirting around the 55 moving average and the 786 retracement. So it's a little bit what's going to do. Still negative sentiment. It didn't close above the 60 threshold. Could slide lower, and I think it will reject again. But if it closes above 63.35, then there's potential up to 64.25, where we have the 100 moving average coming down. If it starts sliding lower below the 62 level, then I will expect the downtrend to resume. On dollar Canada, 142.70 around there. At this level, we have some strong support. If it starts crawling towards, and I think it could do that, towards the 144.70 level, the 38.2 retracement, there's still positive sentiment. There is massive divergence though, but still, I think we can see it push higher to that level. If it takes it out, well, then there's maybe up to 61.8 at just below 146. And sterling Canada, the volatile cross, I wouldn't trade it if it was me. It's just simply too volatile, especially at the moment, and the risk is too high, but that's just me. Below the 200 moving average, I think we could still see it pushing to the 786 retracement at 176.18. But let's see the RSI flirting with 40 threshold. If it bounces from that, well, then we could see a push up to just below the 55 and the 100 moving average below the cloud here. So a little bit up there, too volatile for my taste, I would say. Euro Swiss, well, it is in a correction phase, but above the cloud, above 100 moving average and 55 moving average, which is rising. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, indicating we could see a bounce, and I think we'll hear in the next couple of days we'll see a bounce to at least the 61.8 retracement at 94.50, possibly up to 94.80, where we have the 200 moving average coming down. Well, what's going to happen then? Well, then maybe a setback and then the next push higher. At least that's what the RSI is indicating. We could see that scenario. I have to go back to Euro Swiss. Sorry about that. Euro Swiss 93.30 key support that should be observed. Dollar Swiss, we have dollar Swiss currently flirting once again with the resistance here at just above 91.15. We need a close above that for a push higher towards 92. I think we will see it play out, but I want confirmation. RSI needs to go back above 60 threshold for really further confirm that. But we are above the cloud, we are above 55 moving average, so I think we'll see that, but still I need confirmation. That's just how I work. The dollar index bouncing also. I think we can see it up to the 61.8 retracement, 108.76. If RSI closes back above its falling trend line and especially above the 60 threshold, then expect a push higher towards a previous peak here at 109.75, 110 level. Gold very strong, spiked higher this morning and reached the full potential of the triangle breakout there at 29.32 and then some, 29.42 and almost 43. Spiked higher. Could this be what we call a shooting star? Shoots up and then falls back down. If we get a negative candle tomorrow, well, then we have a top and reversal pattern. However, no divergence on the RSI indicating higher levels, but we are a little bit stressed, so I think we'll see a little bit of a correction here at the next few days. What I will do now, I will remove this because we reached the potential, and then I will add a Fibonacci the other way and say, okay, from here to here, we could see a correction. How big it will be, hard to say. Maybe a little bit too much to get it all the way down to 2800, but it's not unlikely we could see a test of the rising trend line there before next push higher. But bullish trend, so if it was me, I would not short it at the moment, but maybe I will lock in a little bit of profit if I was long. Silver struggling to really close above the 32, 35 level, spiked a little bit higher. If it takes out the spike up there on the 7th of February at 32.65, then there is the uptrend will be confirmed. We are in an uptrend, and positive sentiment on the RSI also supporting that. But it is really lacking and struggling to get really good momentum. What has really good momentum is copper. Copper spiked higher yesterday, massive strong move there the past few days. Spiked above the 470 level. So we are back here from where we were September, October last year. Expect a little bit of a setback, maybe down to 460, 478. So what I will do now, I will say, okay, we are in maybe a little bit of correction phase, and where could it take us? It could take us down to maybe even 450, but we are in a bullish trend, no divergence on the RSI, positive sentiment there is, indicating likely higher levels. And looking at the weekly chart, which I have pointed to so many times, excuse me, we are in a bullish trend, no divergence on the RSI, which is positive. So we could actually this year see much higher levels on copper. At least that's what the indicators are telling us. Brent crude oil and WTI. We start with WTI. Crude oil bounced from just above $70. RSI actually dipped below the 60 threshold. We can also see that it's turning around the MACD, which we haven't talked that much about turning around. I think we'll see a bounce to at least the 74.38 level and the 200 moving average. If it can get up and close above 75.15, well, then there's a potential higher to 78.5 level. Brent crude oil bounced from the 74.25, and I think we'll reach 77.36 here fairly shortly. But that should be potential up to the 79.37, which is the 61.8 retracement. If it takes out the lows here from last week, well, then there's a potential down to $72. Dutch TTF gas, European gas, new spike up yesterday. So what has it done? It actually taken out the resistance and the peak from 2023 at 56.79. And there is potential higher. There's no resistance until around 68.70 level, where we have some. And RSI positive sentiment, no divergence on weekly and no divergence on daily, indicating higher levels on European gas. US NatGas, Henry Hub here, bounced to the 38.2 retracement is at 350. Never closed below the clouds, and it did close below the RSI threshold at 40, so we were actually technically in a negative sentiment. But I think we will see it bouncing higher here in coming days. 365, 380. There is potential up to that, and the trend line here could be tested within a fairly short time, but maybe a little bit setback here short term, and then the next push higher. US 10-year Treasury yield, well, you had this shoulder-like pattern, broke the neckline, but didn't even get down to the 61.8 and 138.2 projection here at 438, just above before bouncing, now flirting with the neckline again and the resistance. But it's not unusual we see these pullbacks. The key thing is, will it close back above the falling trend line? If it does, then the next one is 460, close above that. Then I'll start to say, okay, then it's over, and we have resumed the bullish trend after this. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low. If we get it back above here, it has been reversed, and we are back in bullish territory for US 10-year Treasury yields. The 2-year range bound between 415 and 430. That's the range it should break out of to give us any kind of direction. On the European Treasury yields, we have the EU bouncing, Euro 10-year bouncing around the falling trend line and the 786 retracement here. If it starts taking out 236, then I think we'll see it crawling higher towards 240, level 245. The UK 10 also finds some solid ground here at the 440, and if it starts moving back above the 55 moving average, then we're looking at a 460, maybe higher, and then we can look for Fibonacci levels that way around. Bitcoin, well, I would say the bigger range is between 108,000 and down to 90,000. It's back a massive, really wide range. So, but it can't make up its mind. What's the direction? Can we get a direction like this one or move like that? So that, it's really up in the air at the moment, and it's really hard to draw any conclusions. We can draw a bit of a trend line, say maybe we have something going on here. But it's not really that convincing at the moment. Maybe we do have a triangle-like pattern. You can argue that, but it's not the best one anyway. So I would be cautious a little bit on crypto. The Ethereum bouncing from around the 2600, but can it get up to the 3000? There is potential, but if it takes out the lows here at 2,522, well, then we are looking at these levels down here again, 2200. So we are in a bearish trend, and it really needs to do something to turn around that. We could, of course, see a bounce. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and talk to you later.